Aquarius, this is your March 2025 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or moon in the sign, it's your reading. It's Romy. Thanks so much for joining me on the channel. I appreciate you. We're opening up for you this month with the Knight of Pentacles. I want you to connect the dots in March. It's going to start to make so much sense for you. Now, it is a power surge of an experience through this next month. We've got Venus stationing retrograde in Aries on the 1st. You know, this is deepening, getting to know parts of yourself, and perhaps even tracking back to 8 years ago and thinking about some of the themes that were ongoing in your life at that time. You've changed, you've evolved, but Venus brings around more choices over the next 40 days and 40 nights, and so there may be some parallels that you can draw, but also an opportunity maybe to do things differently and to really see and master something for yourself. Your Knight of Pentacles wants consistency and persistence, and that's going to be super helpful in a grounded capacity for a month that astrologically, conversationally feels like it's really in flux. We also are going to have a Mercury retrograde and 2 eclipses to navigate. I do think though for you there is almost what could be described as a once in a lifetime moment to see something in March, Aquarius, because something gets stirred up. And when the energy is stirred up and it kind of creates almost like a little bit of that chaos and confusion, out of that brings new opportunity. And it feels, although something may be initially uncomfortable, it then offers some sort of a doorway for you. As you make your way towards the lunar eclipse on the 13th in Virgo, there's a need to release trying to micromanage or trying to look at being perfect in regards to something. The rules are made up so much of the time, right? And there's no award, nor will there ever be, for getting to the end and never making a mistake or trying to be perfect or working the longest or the hardest. And so this is about you setting things on your terms. It's about setting standards for yourself and defining things that make sense to you. 2 nights coming through here mean that there are important messages, news, information that is coming in for you in this month. It's also a big change maker month, but we know that. You need to let go of some of the criticism and the judgment, not only that you levy at yourself, but also if you're feeling into other people having a perspective or an opinion that is quite frankly not that helpful for you at this moment in time. And so in and around that lunar eclipse, just do you, okay? There's a desire to want to take action, and there's a little bit of a push-pull going on with these nights. We can see that they're turned in opposite directions. Now we know Venus retrograde can sometimes bring along a bit of a bumpy ride with regards to relationships. So just keep that in your mind that, you know, this is an opportunity to maybe return to something that needs focus for you, but trying to kind of force or push or progress something with another person through the course of March may be that little bit more challenging and actually cause some frustration, which can deplete your energy an awful lot. Because there's also so much that is set to change, it almost feels like don't commit or don't feel that anything is set in stone in March, okay? Because you're going to have to revisit a whole lot once the dust has settled. But like I said, an awful lot of opportunity can present itself. Now, the distance from where you are to where you want to be may be feeling a little bit confronting for you at the moment. But at the same time, you know, we can't discover the peace and the things that we seek without the discomfort. It's part of the story, it's part of the equation. Now we've got this King of Pentacles who's almost like overseeing or, you know, looking on to what is happening with these nights. And what is he bringing to the table? Definitely some stability, some wisdom, maybe some opinions though that are a little bit outdated. So if you're finding that you're having conversations or talking or discussing things with people, and it's not quite ringing true, or it doesn't feel progressive enough, or it's a bit too rigid, you know, it's okay to just kind of take what resonates and leave the rest. I mean, yes, there's king energy here, so there's a sense of maturity, experience, and wisdom that is definitely worth listening to. However, you are walking your course. And you know, there's just something about knowing that whatever it is you're set to release around that full moon is being replaced by something better. And maybe that king is trying to urge you not to let go, or to continue or stay the course with something that you know you've outgrown so completely. And sometimes when you have to make that real change maker step, right, it can feel like you're leaning right into the unknown. We don't know what we don't know, but the unknown is a great leveler. Sometimes we need the vulnerability of that and to be open to learn. It sort of brings a humility to us. And it's not scary because it's new. You know, it's just that parts of you are feeling, I don't know, somewhat like unqualified for something, but actually it feels to me like it's going to be, or about to be, one of the best decisions, choices or steps that you've made in some time. Now your Eight of Swords, there, you know, that is the stress, that is the anxiety, that is the uncertainty that's going on. You're also, I feel, you know, sometimes when you're kind of going through the motions with something, and it's almost like dimming your shine a little bit. So when we're in the wrong environment, when we're talking to the wrong people, when we're focused on the wrong things, you know, our physical body can really start to develop symptoms, and you know, they can sort of flare up every now and again before they start becoming chronic. And if that isn't experienced through this month of March, you know, there's a real need for detoxifying, there's a need for renewal, and really addressing and looking at the things that you're doing in your life that you know are not helping you, that you know are not helping the clarity that you're seeking or the energy that you need at the moment in order to navigate some of these more challenging times, right? So I also feel potentially you've got a family member that's a bit of a source of some stress. Maybe you just don't know what to do. Maybe there's really this kind of wondering what the right thing is. Should I speak? Should I keep quiet? Should I present this? Should I force this? Should I, you know, so there's a lot of sort of backwards and forwards with yourself by way of an internal dialogue with things, because the revelations that have been coming to light mean that, you know, something has to be done. There's just like a realization that we can't just kind of not address this or acknowledge this in some way. But remember, like I said, you know, there are reflections from the past, and as you connect the dots with things, that's going to make you feel a little bit more informed as to know what the right thing to do is. The Magician is just like a perfect antidote, if you like, to a lot of that sort of masculine energy, and perhaps where some of the rigidity or the fixed nature of it is making you feel a little bit you know, ungrounded. So the Magician comes in and says we can work and we can alchemize any of this energy in the direction that we need it, but it means that we do need to acknowledge that we have what we need, and we need to you know, start expressing and start communicating. And, you know, I think that arrives as you come sort of out of that lunar eclipse energy. Now, Mercury is retrograde from the 14th, and so is the asteroid goddess Juno retrograde in Sagittarius. So as you renegotiate the terms and the agreements of partnerships, commitments, any legal documents, you know, you're looking for more freedom. You're looking for, where am I going to be able to grow in this? Where am I going to be able to expand? You know, that might have been something that served me then, but will it still serve me not only now, but moving forward? You're in a really strong position with that Magician energy, because there's creative solutions that are landing for you. That's why I'm saying it's almost like there's a once in a lifetime moment here. You're also looking to bring something to life, okay? We've got the second house energy through Pisces season. You're bringing form to something, and it also helps to show you the value that you bring and that you have. And Venus is going to be doing that in a much deeper way for you as well through her retrograde energy. But there is something about assessing, you know, what's staying and what's going. What can I strip back? What can I simplify? Let's get really clear on the things that I actually want to really focus upon. And you start to make really good progress here. You know, the reflection, the renewal supports this re-engagement with what matters. Okay, now the equinox arrives on the 20th, and something really beautiful lands at this time. It feels like quite a sacred sign, and message that comes in for you. You may sort of have a ritual that's very specific about the release and the detoxification of a particular type of energy, a mental loop that's been going on and on and on, and you finally feel free of. The space that you create is quite mind-blowing when you release the toxicity of that. Maybe there's even some symptoms that come up because of doing that. Nonetheless, what you do find is it does shift something in you, and all of a sudden you feel a little bit more clear thinking and a bit more certain about what you need to do next or what the right next step is. Now, I think there are a number of options that are on the table, and I do feel like there are a couple of people that are pushing some agendas quite hard with you. But again, this is a month where you have to really advocate, listen to yourself to know what the right thing is. You might find you get yourself into a little bit of a disagreement energy between the 20th and building up to that solar eclipse new moon in Aries, okay? And it could be, you know, people that are close to you, siblings, neighbours, you know, we're into third house energy with Aries season for you. Nonetheless, I think that your ideas, your measure of kind of what is the right thing to do and what you're seeing on the horizon, because you're really getting a good download intuitively about what's next, not just what's now, gives you a sort of slight ambitious and restless and, you know, maybe even a slight combative edge to sort of be like, you know what, this is what I need to do, and kind of push it through and get it over the line. I see you being able to do that, okay? So just keep fighting for the thing that you know is on the right side and in your highest good, and in a right alignment for you also. Now, that solar eclipse, new moon in Aries, also has a very interesting sort of, it's almost like something lands and then there's a pause, and then there's like a second wave of something, okay? And, you know, that's going to make more sense when it comes through, but what it feels is that it may cause a little bit of disorientation for you, because you might have sort of a clear idea on something and then kind of second guess yourself, but then you get a further validation that lands quite quickly after it, okay? Now, bearing in mind Venus and Mercury will then have shifted out of Aries and into Pisces, so, you know, your heart is speaking in a more profound way. And, you know, maybe there are some conversations that need to be had toward the end of the month. It's almost like you realise, without finding some sense of closure for myself on this, I'm not going to be able to kind of walk my talk or take this to the next level. So it does feel like some baggage wants to be addressed from you. But, you know, it's not like you haven't already done the healing on it. It's maybe just the final step with regards to something, okay? We also, of course, have Neptune shifting out of Pisces into Aries right at the end of the month. And so it's a whole Pandora's box, really, is March, you know. And this power surge energy, you know, often will lead to these monumental breakthroughs. But sometimes, you know, it does afford us one or two breakdowns in order for us to kind of really see the measure of something. But the trajectory shifts in our life can be pretty powerful. So also the direction that we thought we were heading, or the plan that we were about to initiate, sometimes we'll need an adjustment or a revisit in order to make more sense in the current landscape. But please remember what I said, that everything and anything that surfaces through March will be revisited again. So it's not set in stone, and it doesn't mean that you have to discard absolutely everything up to this point. It's just inviting you to hold space and be open to what else, you know, wants to be understood by you or part of the equation in your pathway moving forward. And I think that if you allow it, that can be actually a really empowering experience for you. And as I said, it's something about the connecting of the dots that are, you know, really sort of showing something about the journey that you've been on, and the perception that you have of yourself at the moment, okay? So yes, things can feel a bit confronting, but also a little bit true, and you can't deny that. You know, there's some real transparency that's happening as a result of the way in which this energy is unfolding, okay? If you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we're going to look at in my extended reading, you'll find a link in the comment and description box underneath. We talk for another 25 minutes or so. We'll also look at a personal question and a relationship card for you, just to give you some deeper insights for the month of March. Just going to go ahead and clarify these cards, see the direction we're going to take this for you. So we've got Strength and the Queen of Swords coming in about this Knight of Wands, 3 of Swords, 9 of Wands, King of Pentacles, the Moon, we've got the Empress and the Ace of Swords. So if you're new to the channel, please do check out romywiser.com. You're going to find ways to work with me if you're after a personal reading. You're going to find my sacred titles, my book, my oracle deck, and my journal. And also my membership, all the other products that I put together to support you in your pathways. Okay, 4 of Cups, 5 of Cups, Page of Swords, and Judgment coming through there. Okay, all the decks are always listed in the comment section below. Okay, let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle for you, Aquarius. What is coming through? We've got Spirit Horse, Sovereign Power, Sacral Energy, Creative Charge, Queen of Water, Encoded Footprints, Alchemize the Ache, and we've got the Full Moon, Soulful Surrender. Okay. Let's take a look at an oracle finally for Aquarius for the month of March. Presence of absence. Hold what is absent in the presence of your love. What are you missing? What are you really feeling through the course of this month that there is a yearning or a longing or a reflecting or a reminiscence over? You know, there's something important about how that's shaping your perception or the direction of things. Listen, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. I hope you'll join me on the extended. We'll go much deeper into this reading, and I'm going to see you again next time. Have a beautiful month. You take good care.